All right, what's quacking, everyone? Today, I'm here to bring you the Brellas, the Tenta Brellas. They are fantastic. Honestly, super underrated. I'm gonna be honest. They're underrated. Like, obviously, when playing Splatoon online, the latency for the tent expansion is terrible, and you can just die sometimes without like the tent's open on your screen or something like that, and it's just terrible. But overall, the tents are pretty fun weapons. They're pretty fun, honestly, not gonna lie. They're fun to use. They're a little quirky, so I'm gonna get into this. I've been using them quite frequently recently. It's just so fun to use, specifically the newer one, the Tenta Brella, because it has Trizuka, even though Trizuka's hitbox is absolute shite. It's still fun to use to hit people with Trizuka, and the ink mines are fun to use when placing around and utilizing them. I think this for out of all four game modes, these Brellas definitely have applications for Tower, Zones, and Rainmaker. I feel like they're just way too slow for clams. Obviously, it does have its uses, which, opening up the tent, pushing forward with a tent, and using that as an advantage. But overall, I just feel like Brella's way too slow paced for clams at such a fast paced game mode. However, for Tower, both of them have great applications. One has, vacuum so you can cover tower, and then beacon to set up when your team's pushing tower so people can jump in. The other one is mines. You can put a mine on the tower, and then also you have Trizuka so you can apply pressure to the tower or use the tower as a vantage point to shoot your Trizuka. Then there's zones. Again, you can use vacuum to cover over a zone, prevent them from painting the zone, and beacons as well is just always useful for supporting your team, having your team jump in. And then Trizuka is good for zones because you can apply pressure, and then mines to just cover the zones for when the enemy tries to paint the zones or they try to approach the zone from a different way, and you can use mines and block off choke points and stuff like that. And then Rainmaker, there's slight asterisk to this. Obviously you can use the vacuum to suck up the Rainmaker shots, and you can just use the Brella to just kind of apply pressure to the Rainmaker, use the tent shield to cover yourself, and then with Trizuka you can just super the Rainmaker, and just again using your tent shield for it is very useful. Also using mines to block off the Rainmaker's pathway, that also helps a lot as well. So they're not super good for Rainmaker, there's a slight asterisk there, but they can be utilized. Definitely more use in Rainmaker than clams for sure. That's why you can use them for Rainmaker. There's just a slight asterisk there, but overall generally fun weapons to use. Good for tower and zones for sure. Starting off with the vanilla tent though, I'm just going to go into the vanilla tent builds here. These weapons, super ink hungry. Very ink hungry. Just ungodly ink hungry. As you can see, actions per ink tank. If you're using a squid beacon, if you use one, you only get 3 shots, and that's terrible. 3 shots after putting down a beacon, you can get flanked if you're trying to put down a beacon in a sneaky spot and then you're not prepared. So this is a very ink hungry weapon. About 1.1, a main and a sub is fine, and then I opt for run speed on this weapon. You can use swim speed, and a lot of people like to go in to just die with these weapons. A lot of people run a lot of QR on these weapons, but I prefer run speed because the run shot, just being able to strafe while shooting with this weapon is so good. And honestly, the animation's also weird as well, and you get more of a walking slide distance with this weapon with run speed than other weapons. So both weapons, I highly prefer run speed just because it's easy to strafe and just move around with the run speed, and then just some utilities and swim speed as well. This is a heavy weapon, so just adding some swim speed as well helps bring this weapon up in mobility for sure. For the second build, I made an LDE one with 3 subs of Ink Saver main because, again, super ink hungry. As you can see, if you look at the Squid Beacon now, if you throw down 1 Squid Beacon, you only have 2 shots compared to the previous ones that I just showed. But overall, still some run speed, some swim speed. The swim speed only bumps up a little bit, close to just normal weapon without anything on it. And then some ink res. And then this one has QR and LDE. And LDE is very useful because it helps you save ink from Squid Beacon. And it's just overall generally good for when you're losing. So it's nice to just have LDE. It's definitely up to personal preference. A lot of these are definitely play styles. I prefer the strafe run speed playstyle that you can use with this weapon. A lot of people seem to prefer like QR, go in and like utilize this weapon like that type of playstyle. I prefer to hang back with this weapon, so this is just like an LDE playstyle type build with some QR, some run speed, you know, just trying to like min-max it a little bit, because a lot of people definitely run more QR. If you opt in for that, obviously you can run more QR with this weapon, and this weapon can one-shot. Both Brellas can one-shot if you hit all your pellets. It's unlikely, but they have good range, good pressure, and more pellets equals more damage, obviously. But overall, this is just solid if you like prefer the LDE playstyle with some QR, some swim speed. Just it has a lot of everything that you can use, and definitely ink res is very nice for. Again, I added some run speed to this, so you know if there are enemies like painting your feet, that extra ink res is super useful when you're strafing around. And then here's another varied playstyle. I made 2 different comeback builds for this one. And, you know, you can either have comeback, QR with like Ninja Squid and a bunch of swim speed. However, you do lose your ink. You just go down to base, and it's absolutely atrocious because, again, this is an ink-hungry weapon. So if you aim for more of a swim speed, if you want some swim speed and some comeback, and you just want to go in and fight, definitely just swim speed with ink saver main and comeback, QR, some utilities with stealth jump, and this is definitely useful if you're making sure, if you're utilizing your own beacons with stealth jump as well, which is very helpful. Definitely, if you can fit in some sub power up, that is definitely useful for beacons. However, it's not really necessary, but definitely if it fits what you want to do with the weapon, then it's definitely preferable. A lot of people I see just aren't running sub power up, so it's definitely up to personal preference for that one. But yeah, this is just, you know, if you want to utilize comeback and swim speed and just be a little speedy boy, you can. And now onto the Tenta Brella. This is the first one I have here. Some of these builds do have cross applications. Obviously, you're not going to run sub power up on mines though, unless you want to. You can. It does have some applications, but it's not the best. So, you know, you're not going to run sub power up on, you know, ink mines. However, this is again, you know, the run speed strafe type playstyle. You know, run speed while shooting goes up to 0.5569 instead of just the base 0.5, and it's just very nice to just have all of this run speed, some swim speed as well. And then because this is the Trizuka and ink mines, I did put some special saver if, you know, you're just approaching a lot and you keep dying, you want to keep that Trizuka so you can utilize it more. And then instead of ink saver main, I have ink recovery for this weapon as well, so there is that. And this one is different as well. This one utilizes QR, so you can utilize QR, and I definitely do recommend special saver and then obviously some ink saver, because again, you put down one ink mine, it is 4 shots, 4.5 shots instead of, you know, normal. So like, and that's with ink saver main, so definitely ink saver for this. And then you're just running some QR as well, your utilities, run speed, swim speed. It's slightly less run speed, but overall the run speed is so useful on this weapon. It's definitely something I prefer. And this is just, you know, if you would just want to run QR, the run speed, and the ink saver main. And this is like not running any extra run speed as well. Instead of the 2 mains for the previous build, you know, you're swapping one out, sacrificing some run speed for some QR to, you know, fit your style a little bit more. And then here I got the comeback. This is where this build just kind of goes into, all right, you want to fight with the Brella, you want to go in there and shoot some pellets, then you can run some comeback, QR with some swim speed, and then, you know, if you want ink saver, you can. However, you can opt out of it and just go for a full-on like get in there and fight build with comeback, QR, Ninja Squid, swim speed, and just really get in there. Swim speed per units is a little bit higher than normal because it's a heavy weapon and you're adding more swim speed. So the Ninja Squid is nice. And then, you know, your stealth jump so you can just get back into the fight, get in there. So this is just a more aggressive Brella build. And it's honestly very nice. I haven't gotten around to utilizing this build yet and using it. I will eventually in the future. I'm still poor in chunks, so I can't make every piece of build that I see here. I can just only use some of it and some of the numbers. But overall, these are very solid if you're just going in and fighting and, you know, you die a lot. So obviously you have that QR, the comeback, you get in the fight faster with the swim speed. And, you know, depending on the objective that you're playing, you know, if the tower's closer, the Rainmaker's closer, comeback's very nice with the increased swim speed on respawn. And then this is the LDE version as well. I don't think LDE is too solid with, you know, ink mines, but again, you know, with LDE, when you're losing, it also increases your ink taking capacity as well. Like you get, you know, ink recovery, so it's very nice. You get the ink recovery, ink saver main, and ink saver sub with LDE active, so it's very nice. You know, some run speed, and then, you know, you have, you know, the run speed, more ink saver main, so that's nice when LDE is active with some QR, or you can just be a more aggressive LDE with Ninja Squid if you get your LDE active. So it's very nice, very niche, I would say. I don't know how useful LDE is for Tenta Brella, but you know, it's here, it's usable. If that's what you want to do, if you want to utilize LDE this way, then you can, obviously, but it's totally up to personal preference for this. And that is the Tenta Brellas. These are very fun. I feel like they're very, like, underrated, super fun. Those are some builds that I have recommended that you can use, and then, you know, you can obviously adjust what you want to fit your play style, and just it's just a fun weapon, super fun weapon. I think Brellas, you know, they do suffer from latency, but they have their applications, and they're just overall very fun to use with the tent. And the, you know, just opening them up, and the Tenta Brellas are just awesome because they can one tap, and I can't wait till we get like another kit for this weapon, if we do get another kit for this weapon, and it would be super nice to like see what else they can apply to this weapon. But with that being said, those are some builds, those are my thoughts, my explanations. Let me know what you think, what you use, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.